For this month's main feature, I caught up with two fresh-faced Spanish collectors who'd recently put on Galaxias Vintage Gon back in early February.
Javier Florencio. I live in Reus, in Spain. It's around 1 hour driving from Barcelona, where we have a big hub of Star Wars collector. I'm actually the only one in my city that I'm aware of. I've been collecting for like 6-7 years. What was when I started with modern, and then quickly I went into the vintage. I'm chemical engineer. That's what I do for a job. In terms of collecting, what I focus mainly my interest is Spanish stuff, memorabilia, anything beyond the toys, and also a little bit Spanish toys, and the Kenner, of course. I'm collecting some Kenner Minton cards and trying to complete a loose run of Kenner. That's what I'm working on. But mainly, if I had to bet my money in something, it's always vintage Spanish memorabilia, because it's the place where I enjoy. Probably you realize that I'm the guy who likes to find new stuff and things that nobody found before. That's where I found really my comfort zone and my enjoyment in the hobby.
Okay, Fernando, you go for it.
I'm Fernando Ruiz. I don't have to drive 1 hour to go to Barcelona because I live in Barcelona. But, well, I'm from Malaga. I'm from the south of Spain, Torremolinos and all that. Well, I have been collecting for many, many years, honestly, since my childhood. It's not that much time since I started collecting a bit more seriously, trying to focus on things that were more proper and in better condition and that's when I met all these guys from here, from my city, like Javier, Daniel Cubero, Ahmed, and many others. I think we have a nice group over there. My main focus is Kenner. I'm boring, I like Kenner, I like it mint, and I'm focused now on doing a 12-back, carded 12-back run. I'm three left to finish it.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, and what I do for a living, I own a miniature company.
A miniature company? What,
yeah.
Is it tiny? It lives in a box, or?
No, it's actually model kits. We produce them, we manufacture them, and we sell them everywhere else. One of our main countries that buy our miniatures is the UK. So I go to the UK often for work. So yeah, it's nice. It's a nice thing.
Good. Right. Now, you two guys came to Farthest From, because we're never quite sure how it goes down, because, it's a very small event. We've had people come in the past that, who are thinking, oh, it's going to be this massive, great big hall, but, it's very small, very personal. So tell me what your impressions were of it, because I know you had a couple of little concerns about some of the attendance, but how did you get on with it? What was your overall impression a few weeks later?
Well, I was really surprised. I mean, I remember initially when Fernando told me, hey, I've been seeing the place and it's very small. So I said, wow, maybe we have done all this trip from Spain for nothing. But honestly, it was really a blast, because it's all meat, right? There is no fat there. It's pure vintage, and I think the size is not.
So it was very cool, actually. I mean, in any case, the village is fantastic. It's very Royston Basie-like, if you have seen the League of Gentlemen. But people were incredibly friendly. I mean, for me, the worst was not having, too many services around, like some place to sit and have a coffee and that. But the place was amazing. The venue was good for the purpose, and I bought a lot of stuff,
I can be the testimony for that.
Yeah.
my only thing, I mean, it was really amazing. Also, David Tree, very nice guy, he paid a lot of attention to us. My only thing is that it only lasts for like 4 hours, right? And that passes very quickly. So I didn't have time to speak with everybody that I wanted to speak, and I didn't have time to go through all the tables in the detail that I would have loved to go through. So that means I will have to go again. Maybe David is doing it because of that, just to motivate people to return.
If you come from abroad, it's a bit complicated, but it was fun to be there. It was a little adventure.
It is. I would definitely recommend next time because I mean there's another one in 3rd of May I think it is.
Oh.
So I would think rather than you two lunatics getting an Uber from London, just go on the forums and ask, and someone will pick you up and give you a lift because that's slightly bonkers.
Yeah. The only thing is I tried to do it. Minimizing the amount of time I was out of the family. So that's why I really compact all my time in there. That's why I had to take the Uber. Yeah, I know it's crazy, but next time we need to.
We took an Uber. Yeah, we actually did the same, and but the problem is that there was no way to Uber back from the village to the airport.
I can't see
no Uber service.
Yeah, I can't see many Ubers being in Fordingbridge.
We actually had to bargain with the driver so he could pick us up for the return trip, and that was when the magic happened, isn't it, Javier? In the return trip.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we started the whole idea.
Exactly.
Okay, so this, you started advertising your convention. That's what we're really talking about. Was that because of Farthest From? I mean, or you've been planning it and then came over to Fordingbridge to kind of like iron out what you're going to try and achieve?
There was this Stargo Wars, which is kind of a Comic Con that was already running for 2 years here. Mainly it was Star Wars focused. Tarragona is a very small city here nearby where I live. Again, it's like 1 hour south from Barcelona. But they have a nice convention center. And there was one guy organizing this group of guys, actually, like 3-4, for 2 years. And because I visited them, I contacted them in the last summer. I told them, look, I live like 10 kilometers away from you, and I have more or less, I'm starting to have a significant collection on the Spanish memorabilia. Do you want me to collaborate with you to do an expo, whatever? And they immediately accepted, right? And I made an agreement already with them back in the last summer that I was going to have an expo of part of my collection there. Then what happened is that Fernando and I, as we were in the taxi.
Let me tell you one thing. My wife got really bored of us. You know?
Yeah, she was sitting in the front. Yeah, that's how it happened. We started to speak. I said, well, Fernando, you know what? These guys in the Star Wars, maybe they would be interested on giving us some space.
No. Tell it right, Javier. We said, why these bloody Brits have this and we don't have anything? Why can't we have beautiful things? It was that, yeah. It was essentially that. Why don't we do this? We have this chance. Why don't we do something like this? And it was an interesting chat. It was just the beginning. It was 2 hours drive. It was time enough to make a bit of a, overview of what we require. After that, it was coming back to Barcelona.
Fernando and I, we have twin souls in the fact that we are easily excitable, right? So we started. I remember we started to speak we were sitting in the back of the car and we started to speak. We even called the guy lively, the guy that showed the Star Wars, and we proposed him the idea, and he said yes. We leave you a room and all the stuff. So we did everything in this 2 hours drive.
What was the focus of the convention? Were you just aiming just for Star Wars or Star Wars collecting or just vintage Star Wars? What was the thoughts behind it initially? Just to kind of like not imitate, but kind of do a similar thing to Farthest From that is pretty much 99% vintage, or were you just trying to do just a basic Star Wars collecting con?
Essentially, we try to gather vintage Star Wars collectors because the problem we have here is that. If you collect vintage, mainly you mainly source all your material from overseas or maybe from other season collectors that are around and that. But it's very sad, because at the end of the day, when there is like a flea market or that, you look like an old git, moving around with your raincoat, looking at bins of old toys, but never finding anything. That's the thing that happens in Spain. And we said, okay, we know a big, a certain number of people that would be willing to cooperate, and we decided to focus the whole thing in more like it, I would say, learning, because we have people who have amazing collection of variants and amazing collection of Spanish carback POC PvP stuff. And we said, okay, why don't you give some panels, and why don't we make an expo with a bit of an exhibit with the best pieces. That was something that also we missed from Farthest From. There was a lot to buy, but not too much to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it comes to exhibit. But we thought that that was easy because we are friends with all these guys. We thought it would be good if people can come in and trade whatever on their own terms.
What kind of things were being shown then? Where was it entire collections or just kind of like mini runs, like you say, maybe someone's PvP collection or something? What was actually the focus of the showcase, really?
The thing is that when we had the idea, we immediately tried to bring on board also some of the fellow collectors in Barcelona with whom we organize meetings from time to time, with Ahmed, Daniel, Juanma, Llorenç, and the new guy called Steban. And what we did is try to showcase the best of our collections. And the nice thing is that each of us has a quite different interest in collecting. Like Daniel is focusing on the Minton cards, POC and PvP, which is, as you know, probably one of the most difficult games nowadays. But then we have Llorenç, who has an amazing historical pieces like the mailers, from his childhood. One of them is a unique piece, the Imperio mail away, sorry. And then we have Ahmed, which have a very varied collection. He's very expert on PvP POC variants, and he collects loose. He has huge and amazing collection of loose figures. Also a lot of Minton cards from when he was a child. He has been collecting always since he was a child. So he has amazing also run of packs. And then we have me with my memorabilia mainly focus. I brought some of my most relevant pieces, and then Fernando also brought his 12-pack run, which he's working on completing. So that's what we showcase, a little bit of the everything vintage.
I've been in the house of guys in the US who have collections and seen like a full AFA 80 run of 12 backs. It's like pretty common. It's like, oh, that's not a big deal, but this is not the US. This is Spain.
Well, no, absolutely.
So people normally, what we tried, one of the things that we had in mind is like maybe, some of this stuff, there are going to be people around that never have had the chance to see something like this in person, live. So that was the idea. Even my run is like that. It's a 12 backs. But that is already something that is not so common to see here in Spain. For me, the most fascinating bit was the combination of, isn't it, Javier, of the 31 back carbacks from Dani, combined with the header from the shops from Ahmed collection. That was amazing to see, because these pieces, these two ranks belong to each other, relate to each other and never have been displayed together.
Okay.
And there are like this header is like there are only one or two more in existence that we know. Daniel, some of the card backs that he had there were like this Vader is the only one known. It's like okay. So there was pretty crazy stuff.
It took us some time to convince Daniel to bring. We had to win his confidence that the pieces were going to be safe, because as you talk, and also Hamed, right? When you talk about such a unique things, they rely on us.
I'm still surprised about that they relied on us,
Did you get insurance for that then, for your event, just in case, or was it just uninsurable?
Well, we have an insurance that was one guy standing there all the time with a stick in his hand. That was the insurance we had.
That's fair. That's pretty fair. No. That's probably a better way to do it, to be fair.
But these things, it would be completely impossible to do an insurance for that. The price that the insurance company would be asking you would immediately destroy the organization, the potential organization.
Yeah, we'll try to come up with something for next year, but the problem is that on top of that, the main thing in this is that we set the foundation and build the whole damn thing in only 2 months. That's the main feat we accomplished.
That is pretty incredible. I mean, considering that normally these things take several months, that is pretty impressive. But I
Yeah.
mean, what sort of footfall did you get? How many people did you get coming to this thing? I mean, was it something that people came to? I mean, was the event in a city or a town, or was it in a small, faraway area like farthest from us? I mean, where exactly was it in terms of people?
So this was happening in Tarragona, right? And it was happening in the convention center of Tarragona. It's a city of around 150,000 inhabitants on the seaside in south of Barcelona. The convention center is very close to the downtown. So and this year was very successful. This convention, that this kind of Comic Con where we did our thing inside the Comic Con of Star Wars, right? So the people to attend to our event,
Thousands of attendance, actually.
yeah, no, they were super successful this year. It was really, I think the organizers are very happy with the success. I think that the key was that they expanded from Star Wars into other things this year, like Ghostbusters, Star Trek, many other things. That brought a lot of people. So our event was inside of this convention, and the people that was coming to our event, they had to pay an entrance fee of €80 for the general thing, and then they could access and go into the room where we were celebrating our thing. In terms of numbers, I think, correct me, Fernando, but I think we had like 60 people that pre-registered, and then we have some other, I mean, really real collectors of vintage. But then we had many casual people that was entering. At some point, the room was completely full. It was a bit, especially during the room sales, full. It was crazy.
Yeah, when we said, well, now we're going to conduct a little room sales, and then you move around your head, and there were like people came out of nowhere with boxes. It's like, oh yeah, can we sit in? Can we already put our things on the table? Yeah, go ahead. Whoa. And they were like, wow, like raccoons, you know. But it was fun. It was really, really fun. Tiring, but fun.
Well, if it's not tiring, it's no fun. That's what makes it fun. When you're knackered at the end of the day, and you can go down the pub and celebrate. That's what makes it.
We end up with a glass of whiskey at home, Fernando and I,
Yeah,
thinking on the
that was it. The drink of victory, you know. What I'm happy about is that we managed to offer a different set of activities. First of all, we're like, panels by Dani Cubero, by Ahmed, by Jose Gracia, who wrote a few books on the subject of vintage Star Wars and also modern Star Wars. We have the exhibition, we have the room sales. We even managed to project Star Wars in Super 8.
I saw that.
That was amazing. Everybody
That looked brilliant. That looked fantastic.
Oh, so brilliant. Everybody was like, with a small tear, like, oh, fantastic. It was very nice. I mean, for us, I think for me, the result was good. You know, we even have a couple of British people. That was so fun.
What?
Yeah.
You guys are everywhere.
Well,
Oh yeah, we seem to be spreading.
We had a small sales table outside the venue, outside the room. We had the convention with the T-shirts and the card bags. I saw this guy with a T-shirt of EcoBase, you know, and I look at the guy and I say, dude, you have to come in. What? But the guy looked at me like, what is this crazy idiot telling me? No, you have to come in. You're going to love it. Trust me. I don't know you at all, but trust me. You know what? So the guy comes in, and 2 or 3 hours after, he and his wife haven't left the room yet. It was so fun.
But was he poorer? Did he spend all his money? Did you get his money out of him?
No, I don't think so. He just enjoyed and had a good time, you know, made friends. It was so nice, actually. It was not really focused on the money, you know. It was more like an exchange. People were actually selling stuff, but they were selling, most of the people, even ourselves, were selling stuff like cheaper than usual, because it was a way to make people, you know, enjoy the whole thing a bit more, you know.
I think that's why these smaller conventions are so much more fun, because you can do a bit of bargaining, you can do a bit of as we could say, bartering. So buy a couple of items, get a bit knocked off, you know, rather than being a flat price.
We both got bargains there, isn't it, Javier?
Yeah.
Maybe too many bargains.
It kind of came out of nowhere when you were advertising it. I think it probably caught a lot of people off. I think a lot of, especially when it gets a bit warmer or people go on holiday, I think if you do another one, plan another one, I think a lot of people will probably be quite tempted.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
definitely tempted to go.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah.
it's, you know, it's in a great little place.
We have big plans for next year, isn't it, Javier?
Next year, one of the things that we are discussing with Fernando is whether to move it into Barcelona, because the reality, the space we had, Star Wars really was fantastic. They really helped us out. And the room is fantastic.
No, and the organization and everything was amazing. The people were very nice and everything went fantastic, you know. Yeah.
The reality is that 95% of the vintage collectors that came, they came from Barcelona or from other regions of Spain. But really from Tarragona, I think it was me and another guy, or maybe a couple more. For the guys in Barcelona, they have to move 1 hour driving south. For people coming, we even had people from Madrid, Gibraltar, from Valencia, Castellón. Yeah. And for them, it's logistically, Barcelona is more. So people was asking, why we were not doing it in Barcelona? Yeah. Well, because so far the place where we had a free place to do it was in this convention now. And I don't know, we need to think. It's something that we are debating, because also for people that comes, for example, right, for if somebody from UK wants to come, that means they have to do one less connection of 1 hour to reach Tarragona.
Yeah. Keep in mind that there are plenty of the direct flights from any part of Europe to Barcelona direct. And, well, the possible venue we are thinking of is very well connected to a tube station and train station, like 2 minutes walking from it. It will be very convenient for anyone who comes from out of the city. I mean, Barcelona people will be happy. People who come from elsewhere will be happier as well. Also, we have plenty of options for lodging and, hotels, hostels, whatever. And plenty of things to do, because it's not just a matter of, I'm going there like a nerd for just 2 days. No, you can go and take the chance to stay a few days, even bring the family and do some sightseeing, do some shopping. I mean, Barcelona is fantastic for this. For food.
Absolutely, yeah.
That time of the year is the weather is going. It's not so bad. So for people from Northern Europe, it's almost like spring. So it's fantastic.
On the other hand, I must say that doing this within this kind of Comic-Con that was done in Tarragona gave us a lot of casual visitors, which created a very nice atmosphere. The venue where we did it this year, the room is fantastic. Very cool, the design, the space. A lot of casual people, as I said, within the con that was entering to see what we were doing in that room and all the stuff. So that creates a nice atmosphere also. I mean, a lot of the people that we had during the Super 8 projection on Sunday morning were people that were not actually registered for the Vintage Con. They just were casual people, Comic-Con that they saw in the agenda that we were going to project Super 8, and they just come and sit there. I remember I said to Fernando, are you sure we really need to do today the Super 8 on Sunday morning? Probably nobody's. Oh, thanks God we prepared everything, because we had maybe 20, 25 people there ready. They just needed the...
Yeah. Okay, when this is starting?
They just needed the popcorn. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I think that was definitely one of the highlights. And we promise that we are going to do that every year, to do a bit of, you only need 15 minutes. That is what one of the roles runs for, it's enough. But it's to give the film was completely, not deteriorated, but the color was completely faded to some sort of orange.
It makes it more realistic. I don't want high definition. That's boring. We can get that any day of the week.
And by the end of the projection, I realized that I could turn up the volume. It was fantastic. It was like a discovery. Like, oh my God, this can sound a bit better. It was definitely one of the funniest things of the weekend.
Nobody even needs the sound, because everyone's got all the sounds in their head already. It doesn't matter. You can watch it without sound.
We were using the old Super 8 projector from my home. from my childhood. The one that we used to see the Super 8 movies when we were kids, my sister and I. And it was fun to put it back into service. I had to take it to repair the previous week, and it was a bit of a hurry and everything. Like, oh, now where are we going to find a place in Barcelona that they repair Super 8 projectors? It's like, what the hell? But we delivered the bomb, as they say in Jaws.
Now, you guys, you did some merchandise, didn't you, for this event? So you had a few things going on, T-shirts and other bits and bobs.
We have a fantastic selection of merchandise for the discerning collector. Okay.
Everyone likes merch.
I know. Everybody likes swag, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay, what we have said is like, okay, we don't want to get a profit on this because we have our works, our jobs, and this is not... This convention is not to get a profit. It's done to try to make it as nicer as possible and as ambitious as possible. Our aim is that, in example, if we can bring at some point someone else from, let's say, the UK or France who has a very cool collection and can bring some items and that to exhibit and to give to do a panel and that. Okay, with that person, we need to pay for his. That's what we want the money for. So, in order to make the whole thing self-sustainable, we have created a few things. The first thing is a T-shirt with the logo. The logo is let me be humble about this, is the coolest logo you have ever seen for a Star Wars. Just being humble, okay? I mean, it's very cool because the logo is Galaxias Vintage Gon, by the way, is the name of the convention. We haven't said it enough.
Yeah, you're supposed to get out there. Say it more often.
It's based on a typical and unique logo they made in Spain because, as you might know, in Spain, back in the day, it was La Guerra de las Galaxias, not Star Wars, right? It was translated to Spanish. So they made a very unique logo with the silhouettes of Luke and Leia and the droids incorporated into the bigger Galaxias world that is Galaxies. I don't know where they came up with because it's a bad translation actually, but it's what we were raised with. It's similar to the Hildebrand, drawing of the 12-back cardbacks, but it's not exactly the same. It was a unique design made in Spain in those days. So we decided to use that because that's an image that everybody here has in mind, And everybody loved the T-shirt. We made also a patch. And also we had the chance, as we have in Barcelona, one guy who makes incredible carbacks, replica carbacks. Okay. We had the chance through him to create the first of a series of characters. We made a limited edition set based on, what character would you choose? Boba Fett is the man, It's like it's the James Bond of the Star Wars, So we made, and also it's probably the most difficult cardback to get in POC, by the way. So we make a set of 3 cardbacks based on the character. One is a replica of the original cardback we have. I don't know if it was the 3741 back, the original one, the first one that it has this character. And the other ones are essentially the same, but with different artwork. One even with the slave one. And they come in a set with 3 stickers of una figura gratis, 1 free figures. That is also a very typical characteristic of these carbacks. What can I say? They are fantastic. They are very neat. And we still have some sets available, so you better hurry.
Get him out there. Get him on the Facebook group. Get him out there. People will love that sort of stuff, especially anything sexy in Spanish. You see, we just don't get enough of it.
Yeah. It's not so usual to see, Yeah, the problem is that maybe it's because there was no such a convention like the one we said. maybe people were not into building a real amount of merchandise about it. So we'll see what happens. The sky's the limit.
For next time, I think myself and Richard are probably, and some of the others are definitely keen on coming over. My Spanish is appalling, as in it doesn't exist. So you'll all have to speak English for us.
We can communicate very easily through food.
Food and beer is easy.
Yeah. I just want to say that in line with the merchandise, there was a fantastic job Fernando, he took care of the merchandise completely while I was taking more care of the logistics of the con. He did a fantastic job working with Daniel also, who helped, especially the guys from Astroworks, the guys that designed the carbacks. And they iterated several times, but I think they really got into something really, really very nice. And also the logo, the Galaxias Vintage Gon name, we iterated over different names. And Juanma is also one of the guys in the team, came up with the Galaxias Vintage Gon name. And immediately when he said it, we realized that was going to be the fantastic name, because it was reflecting, combining the three words, right, of what we wanted to do with this. For the logo, Fernando took the Galaxias, the Guerra de las Galaxias, the Star Wars logo from 77, 78, which he knew that I like it a lot, a fundamental part of the Spanish memorabilia. And it's for me the nicest artwork from the Spanish memorabilia. He knew that I like it, so we combined the name from Juanma with the logo that I like. He decided to do it, and then he worked with our graphic designer to really refine it.
Essentially, there were a few good ideas from the beginning, but the final result was a product of everyone's collaboration, like in the main group. For me, it's a pride to have created something like this, even if it's not licensed.
What did you two guys pick up, if anything, from this event for your collections? Did you actually get anything?
I didn't get anything.
I was selling a lot. Actually, I had my daughter helping me. She doesn't like Star Wars, but she had a blast in the room sets. But no, and you know what? The bad thing about this is something you are proud, and it's something, achieving to organize something like this in 2 months' time is really, you feel proud of it, right? But it's very stressing. And the worst thing is the day passes very quickly. It's like the same day you get married, right? You don't realize you don't have time to speak with everybody you wanted to speak. Everything passes so fast. And then you say, I haven't enjoyed it because I missed having talked a lot of people that I was willing to speak with. But because you are organizing this, so you want everything to be perfect. So you are going there to do that thing. You are going there to do, in the end, you are running all the day. And one thing I couldn't do is when we were doing the room sales for 2 hours, I didn't have the time to go and look into the other things that the others were selling. That's the bad side of it. You are organizing, you have no time for doing the things that you would like to do when you attend.
On top of that, I would like to mention our supporters, essentially our families. Javier and I were essentially a pain in the ass to live with, because we were all the time on the phones. It was like if we were boyfriends or something. We didn't have time for anything. We were like busy doing with the finishing touches. It's normal, His wife was very nice, very welcoming, because we went to his city. My wife, in example, she said, there's no clear person to sit here in the table in charge of the merchandise sales. I will do it. And she sit there all day.
Big kind.
So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, she was fantastic. Javier's girl, she's only 11, but she knows more about selling than his dad. Don't have that, sorry. So it was so nice. Everybody was very collaborative. And everybody was happy. There's not really a negative thing, like maybe it lasts too little.
We had one session which was, to me, the coolest, when we had Daniel Barry, that has something in the exposition, was explaining to the people why we had selected these pieces, what was the singularity and so. And I remember listening to Llorenz, to Daniel, to Ahmed. They were putting so much passion. And also Ahmed, for example, he was really all the time paying attention to the people, explaining the variants, and he even helped some people identifying some of the PvP POC. Like people was bringing the figures, Spanish figures, and they were not sure if they were POC or PvP, and Ahmed was helping them. It's also about spreading knowledge.
Also about being able to tell the story behind the pieces, like how did I get these pieces? I remember when, in example, Llorenz, has the mailers. That was so fun. Remember, Javier? He has the PvP mailers from. I think that it was all of them that were there, and actually they were his own mailers from his childhood. So you can see his name on the envelopes, And he was telling the story that they never could came up right with how his name was written. And one envelope is written in one way, and another one is written in another way, but both incorrect. So it was fun to know the story behind the toy.
Absolutely. I'd kill for having my original mailers that came to the post. I mean, when you're a kid, those boxes to me were just a white box got thrown away. That's the way it was. But I'd look. I wonder if someone's got them. Fished them out the bin.
When you are a novel collector like me, you feel frustrated because you say there's something that I'm missing, and I need to live another life again if I want to be part of that, right? But it's good to share, to have to be able to enjoy the passion that the others are feeling there, right? I don't want to forget to thank our sponsors. We had contribution helping us, GW Acrylic, also from Gonzalo Diaz-5, from Retro Robot, and Astroworks and the Force Books. And they all contributed. The Astroworks, obviously, they helped us with the card backs, but the other guys, they contributed we did an early bird raffle. So the people that was registering early was participating in a raffle of the products that from Retro Robot, GW Acrylic, and the Force Books. And it was a way, for us, it was very important because it was the first occasion we were doing this. So we wanted to know if there were going to be 20 people coming or 50, so to make some forecasts, right? Yeah. That was
As I said, if you build it, they will come, I guess. So, and it happened that way.
Yeah, but I'm very pragmatic. I needed to see the names in the list to believe.
I'm not. I'm essentially, I'm like a puppy, adorable but stupid. So I do things.
We hope that next year, with more time, we can get together, because in the end, what we wanted to do is have a space for Spanish vintage collectors to get together. Because what happened in Spain is we had a fantastic meeting point, which was the Spanish Star Wars Forum. And the forum was the center of activity for years, for more than a decade of the hobby, until Facebook came in, and that changed the whole game, right? Also, the technology of the forum became a little bit obsolete, and attaching pictures to the old forums, it was very laborious. So the quick way in which you can move and share things in Facebook drove the attention for people, and the forum went down in activity until it was recently actually finished. So they closed it. So we thought there is a need to have a point where collectors can meet. And look, we started to organize it, but who knows, maybe in 5 years we were the first organizing this thing, and some others will take over. And we hope that this is something that people understand, there is a need to as long as there are a big group of collectors or quite a significant group of collectors in Spain, there is a reason to meet up and share knowledge and meet people, buy, sell, also see expo of pieces. That was the whole goal of the thing, right? Create that forum for the people to meet physically once a year. And we hope we keep on with doing it. I mean, I think the most difficult thing is to create the first one. Then when you create the first one, you believe yourself that it's possible to do it. And we got fantastic feedback. Like, people were saying, hey guys, this was amazing. Thank you for organizing it. The people that come, they really had a blast. So, and that's something that, I was enjoying a lot, that the people had such a good feedback.
I'm going to be honest. When I saw your promotion of this, I thought, oh, Javi didn't mention any of this at Farthest From. What a cheeky git. To see the event, to see the pictures, it's like, where did this come from? This is absolutely amazing. You must have had hundreds of people helping you. Yeah. And it just looks what a Star Wars event like this should be. It looks intimate, but yet friendly, public. Visual. I mean, the visuals everywhere. I mean, the way the collections are, in the cabinets, the room, everyone just looks like they're having a whale of a time. And it just looks Star Wars. It looks just like Farthest From in Spain. It really does. It just looks at an event thinking, oh, I'm going next time, definitely, kind of vibe to it.
you are more welcome than join. I mean, we would love to have people from abroad coming over. You know that we are essentially welcoming people in Spain. So we like to have people coming over all the time. We like to show our things to other people. So nothing can go wrong. I mean, it's vintage Star Wars, a nice place, nice people, good food. Come over.
It's 1970s Britain. It's Christmas Day with the Johnsons, and it's time to open the presents. Look at young Sally opening her present. A wooden spoon, mixing bowl, and a sturdy apron. How lucky are girls in this modern age. It's now Jim's turn to open. Oh wow, space toys from Palatoy. That's it, son, says Mr. Johnson. Throw that old cardboard onto the fire. Let's play some space adventurers. And look, here's Eric. He's home from the mine. No space toys for him. It's a proper month's supply of cigarettes, what every growing lad of 12 years needs. And he will stop him borrowing Grandma's pipe. Oh, what a joyful day. Happy Christmas, everybody. Grab yourself one of those delicious podcasts next time you're on the internet. Our flavour is the Vintage Rebellion, and you can find us from the usual vendors.